Hey everybody, my name is Melissa Martin. I am a senior Ruby ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. Just a quick little bit of information about me. I started Plexus in March of 2014, and my passion is helping people find better health, losing weight, and just securing financial freedom for themselves and their families. So I'm here tonight to present to you just some things that I know that we all struggle with in network marketing. It's overcoming objections and getting people off of the fence is what we like to call it, but it's really closing the deal. So I wanted to talk to you about those two topics because I know that we deal with a lot of those things. So I'm going to talk to you about those things. I'm going to start with overcoming objections. We get a lot of objections. So, and it's just the nature of the business, and people are skeptical. I'm sure we were all skeptical at some point. I totally didn't jump all in when I first heard about it, and the majority of us didn't. So we deal with a lot of objections. So I'm going to talk to you about how to deal with those objections whenever you're faced with those. Now, I want to say this about objections. You should remember that objections are not no's. They just mean that your customers want to know more information about you, about the products, and about the company. So you should welcome objections. They're fun. I actually love objections because it gives me the opportunity to tell other people about how awesome the products are that we have, as well as how awesome our company is and how incredible our compensation plan is. So you should always welcome those objections. Now, in order for you to welcome the objections, you do have to be somewhat prepared. That doesn't mean that you have to know everything that there is to know about the company. That's not the case at all. So don't let that scare you. However, you should be doing your research. You should be learning a little bit every single day. And if you're new to the company, definitely lean on your upline. That's what your upline is there for. Let your upline help you, but don't depend on your upline. Just make sure that you are learning every single day. And whenever your upline is teaching you, make sure that you're taking that all in as well. So I'm just going to give you some tips on ways that you can listen to your prospect and the way that you can help overcome some of those objections. The first step that I'm going to tell you is to listen. That is so important whenever you are in this business, that you want to listen to the person that you are talking to and presenting to. And it's important that you actively listen. Of course, this is going to be more on a face-to-face situation, but I'm going to give you some tips for actively listening to your prospect. You want to watch your body language. Eye contact is so important. When you're talking to somebody, like just making that connection, looking at them in their eye and just really acknowledging that you hear what they say. You can also lean into them whenever they are talking, not uncomfortably lean in, but lean in a little bit so they know that you're really focused on them and what they're doing. And what they're saying. That's where you want to be. So you're leaning in, you're making eye contact, and you're actively listening to what they have to say, because you can't address their objections if you're not listening. Another thing that you can do, if you're somewhere where you can take notes, write down little things that they say. If they talk about their family, write that down, because that's important to people. You want to connect with them. Write down what they're saying. That shows that you're listening to them. Here's the key though, while you're listening, don't try to formulate your response while you're listening. If you hear them say something and you automatically start trying to come up with a response, you're going to miss some of what they say. So just shut it down, just listen to what they say. And I can guarantee that if you take in what they're saying, you're going to be able to come back with a response. So just make sure that you're doing that. Another thing that you can do is nod. Like when they're talking, like they're saying, I hate meal replacements. Yeah, nod your head. Like when you can get somebody agreeing with you and they think that you are listening to what they're saying and that you have something in common, that you understand where they're coming from, they are going to be much quicker to join you. So you want to nod in agreement. Now, don't nod in agreement if they say something that you don't agree with, but still listen. So just nod in agreement and kind of let them know that you hear what they're saying, that you understand where they're coming from. And don't interrupt. So if you're nodding, you're not saying, oh, yeah, I know. No, don't do that. Just nod and just kind of take in what they're saying. Another thing you can do is ask for clarification. The best way to do this, like if you don't understand what they're saying, is put the blame back on yourself. So you would say, you know what, I'm sorry that I just don't understand what you're saying. I'm sorry, I'm just having an off day. You know, whatever it is, but put the blame on yourself. Don't make your prospect feel like they are not doing a good job communicating. You say, you know, I'm sorry, I just really didn't understand what you were saying. You know, I'm just not following you. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to do that. And ask them to please share that with you again so you understand. And then at that point, repeat back what they said. So that way you are sure that you're on the same page. Don't just assume, especially if you're really unclear. You want to make sure that you're on the same page. All right. So the first step in dealing with objections is to listen actively. The second step in dealing with objections is take the objection and rephrase it into a question. For example, if somebody says to you, you know what, I have tried every diet. What if this one doesn't work for me? I do hear that a lot. And you know what, my response to them is, you know what? What if it does work for you? What if this is the answer? And you know what? You have never benefited from something before that you did not try, right? So let's go ahead and get your order started so you can start benefiting from these products, all right? So you're going to take the objection and turn it into a question. Again, what if this doesn't work for me? What if it does? What if this is your answer? What if this changes everything? What if you get these products and it absolutely changes your life? So if you're going to live by what if, let's think about what if positively. You can't benefit from it if you don't try it. And it's okay to say that. I mean, you can say, I have said this to people before, hey, you know what if it doesn't? But what if it does? And you'll never know if you don't try it. So just turn it back into a question. The third thing is you want to verify to see that you address their concern. So an example here would be somebody has a heart condition, okay? So you're talking to somebody and they have a legitimate concern and you want to verify that you're understanding. You know what, I understand, you know, that you have a heart condition and it would make me feel better if you took these ingredients to your doctor and let he or she look at them and approve them for you. And then say to them, you know, when can you do that? When can you get this list of ingredients to your doctor or to your pharmacist? And if they say to you, you know what, I can go on Thursday. I'm going to the doctor on Thursday. You say, great. I'm going to put a note in my calendar and I'm going to follow up with you on Thursday just to see how things went. That'll be okay, right? You notice how I'm using all positive. I'm nodding my head. That'll be okay, right? They're not going to tell you no. But here is where you have to follow through. You have got to make that contact. If they tell you they're going to the doctor on Thursday and you promise to follow up with them on Thursday, you need to follow up on Thursday, because if you don't, you lose a lot of credibility with that. So make sure that you are keeping up your end of the bargain. Whatever you say you're going to do, make sure you follow through with that. Don't lose your credibility, okay? Number 4, and this is huge, and I think this is where a lot of people might miss the opportunity in network marketing. You have to ask for the sale. And I know that that seems really pushy and really hard to do, but close the deal. If they still hesitate, if you notice that they're still hesitating, you know, if you say, hey, let's go ahead and get your order placed, you'll get your products in, you know, 3 to 5 days, let's go ahead and do that for you, and they hesitate, then go back over the features, the benefits, and just the product in general. You know, you could even say something like, you know, did I leave something out? Did I not communicate something well for you? You know, again, our products are all natural health supplement. You drink it once a day, no meal replacement. But go back over the features and the benefits of our product. And I'll go over the closing, because this is kind of a closing. So we'll go over some tips for closing. But this is where you will ask for the sale. You will try to get the sale from your potential customer. All right, number 5, this is huge. After you ask for the sale, you want to pause. You want to wait and give them a chance to ask you any questions, to respond to what you said. If you do all the talking, they don't really have a chance to say what's on their mind. So you want to kind of pause and give them a chance and let them talk. You know, if they, and again, listen. This is where you actively listen. Don't formulate your response. Don't start thinking, oh my gosh, if they could sign up as an ambassador, blah, blah, blah. Just stop and listen. Just really make that connection with the person that you're talking to. Remember, we're in relationship marketing, so make sure you're making that connection. All right, after you pause, and let's say they come back with some concerns, okay? So this is the final step in dealing with objections, and it's learning to use turnaround statements. So you want to think of it as putting the ball back in their court. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few examples of these. The first one, you could say, I see you're hesitant. Do you mind telling me what it is that you're thinking? And really show concern, because you should be concerned at this point. You know, you've presented something and whoever you're presenting to is a little hesitant. So ask them, hey, I see you're hesitant. Is there something else I can explain, or do you have more questions for me? And be real open about it. Don't be defensive, but be real inviting. Like, let them explain to you what they're thinking, what's going through their mind. A second turnaround statement is, that certainly makes sense, however. Okay, so let's say somebody says to me, you know what, I appreciate you sharing that with me, but I'm just going to lose weight through diet and exercise. My response would be, you know what, that certainly makes sense to me. However, I have battled with weight my whole life, and diet and exercise did not work for me because I did not have willpower to control my food, and I didn't have the energy to exercise. When I brought Plexus into my regimen, I was able to control my cravings. I was able to eat smaller portions, and I had energy to exercise. I sleep all night and I wake up energized, and I have the energy to go out and take a walk or go to the gym. Be honest with who you're talking to too. You don't have to embellish it, but be honest. And from there, you've put the ball back in their court. Okay, I can certainly understand where you're coming from, but a third turnaround statement would be, I can appreciate your concerns, but how many of us have heard pyramid scheme? I don't want to be a part of a pyramid scheme. I don't sell anything. I'm not in sales. Okay, here is a good turnaround statement for you in that situation. Somebody says to me, oh no, I don't want to be in a pyramid scheme. My response is, I can certainly appreciate your concerns. However, I joined Plexus in March of 2014, and by May of 2015, that income had replaced my corporate America career salary. So I can appreciate that you're concerned that this is a pyramid scheme, but this is not a pyramid scheme. Plexus is a legitimate company with a legitimate product. This is not a pyramid scheme. Pyramid schemes are illegal. I would not be a part of something that's illegal, and I'm sure you wouldn't be either. Again, you've turned it back around to them. Another turnaround, and this is not really a turnaround statement, but this is another statement you can use when you're dealing with objections, and some of you may already be using this. It's called feel, felt, found. I understand how you feel. I felt the same way. But what I found is, so for me, I say this. Somebody tells me they can't afford the products. You know what? I understand how you feel, because I felt the same way. When I was introduced to Plexus, there was no way I could afford to buy these products every month. I was not in a position to do it. But what I found is, by joining as an ambassador, I was able to get my products at wholesale. I was able to change my health. And I also have this incredible team that I get to work with every single day. And in that process, I'm making enough money that takes care of my family. So you understand how they feel because you felt the same way, but what you found is, and tailor this to fit you. Don't use my story if that's not your story. Again, we want to always be honest and run our business with integrity. So make sure that you tailor these to fit you. You don't have to use what I'm using. So I'm gonna go back over those real quick. Okay, the first step in dealing with an objection is actively listening. Number 2 is take the objection and turn it into a question. What if it doesn't work for me? What if it does work for you? I mean, that's so simple. Number 3 is verify to see that you address their concerns. Number 4 is ask for the sale, and we'll go over that again in a little bit. Number 5 is pause and give them a chance to respond. And number 6 is use turnaround statements. I see you're hesitant. Number 2 is that certainly makes sense. However, 3 is I can appreciate your concerns, but, and then 4 is feel, felt, found. Now, I know that most of the objections that we deal with are based on money. Just from what I deal with and what I know my team deals with is always financial. But what if you said this to somebody when they're objecting or they're saying it's too expensive? What if you say, putting money aside, what is holding you back from making a decision today? 9 times out of 10, the next response is going to be time. People are going to say, well, I don't have time to do this. And this is where you can say, I can appreciate your concerns. However, would you be willing to spend 15 to 30 minutes a day, maybe 3 to 4 days a week, watching videos about our product or sharing life-changing stories with the people that you love and care about, with the possibility of making an extra $100,000, $500,000 a month? Would that be beneficial to your family? And at that point, you put into perspective that they don't have to make this a full-time career. I mean, I have chosen to do that, but not everybody has to do that. If somebody's willing to give 15 or 20 minutes in the beginning, 3 or 4 or 5 days a week, that is a huge start. And if you're not doing that, I challenge you to do that. Invest in your business. I want you to remember this too. Remember that a no is a maybe and a maybe is a yes. If you have children, you know exactly where I'm coming from. If your children ask you to do something and you are emphatically against it, you will give an emphatic no, absolutely not. And when you're talking to people, you will know when they mean no, don't contact me again. And all the time that I've been doing this, I've only had a couple people tell me that. So that's pretty good odds considering the number of people that I talk to. But if somebody gives you a maybe or a hesitant no, it's just like with your children. They come home and they're like, oh, I want to have a cookie. And your response is, well, maybe. That is an open door. That is a cracked door. Your child is going to aggravate you to no end until you give them that cookie. So you have opened the door by saying maybe. So when you're dealing with your prospects, when you're talking to them and you know that they have not said an emphatic no, that door is still open. That no may still become a yes. I'm going to tell you another tip too on dealing with objections. You should always know what your competitors are doing. Think about it like this. When you go shopping on Black Friday and all the ads come out right before Thanksgiving or the day of Thanksgiving now is when they come out, or maybe the day before. But let's take electronics, for example. Let's take Target and Walmart and their electronics ad. They are very similar. What you get and the price are very similar. That's because they have researched each other. They know what's going on. So you need to be doing the same thing with your competitors. If somebody comes to me and approaches me about Advocare, I'm telling them about Plexus and they say to me, hey, I'm going to try Advocare. And I'm not picking on Advocare. I'm just going to use them because they have that Spark drink, which is real similar to the Slim, or so they think. So they say to me, hey, I'm going to try the Advocare. My response is never confrontational. I am never negative about the other company, and you should not be either. My response is always, you know what? I've heard a lot of great things about Advocare. I chose to do Plexus because it's an all-natural stimulant-free product. And that is what I prefer to put into my body, is an all-natural supplement that is stimulant-free. But I know that because I have researched Advocare and Spark. I know what they're about. Know your competition. It's huge. You want to be educated whenever you talk to people. Again, you don't have to know everything to talk to somebody, so don't let that hold you back. You should be talking to people already. But those are just some tips for you as you start dealing with objections. All right, so the second part of the call is going to be closing the deal, getting people off the fence. You may present this to somebody and they not have one objection. So that's great. When that happens, go for it, because it doesn't happen often, but I relish in it if it does happen. But after you've addressed the objections, then it's time to close the deal, or get them off the fence, if you want to call it that. So I'm going to give you 8 tips on how to do this, okay? The first tip is to assume that you're going to get the sale, all right? Always assume that your prospect is going to buy or sign up as an ambassador. Do not ever be apologetic or feel like you're bugging somebody. Because here's the thing, we have products that absolutely change people's lives. We have a compensation plan that have turned people's finances around. I am one of those people. So how dare you not share that? Don't ever be apologetic, embarrassed, or ashamed to share this with somebody, ever. Because what you have could possibly change their life. So when you go into meeting somebody, when you go in to present this opportunity to somebody, you should always assume that they are going to either sign up as a customer or sign up as an ambassador. I can tell you that every opportunity meeting I have, I know how many guests are there, and I expect for every one of those people to either sign up as a customer or an ambassador. I always like to dream big, but my stance is, what if they don't sign up? Then at least I gave them everything I had, right? So I'm assuming that they're going to do it. All right, number 1 is assume. Number 2 is build the sale with minor agreements. Build the sale with minor agreements. Remember how I said when they're talking, you're nodding, like, yeah, you're kind of getting them to agree with you already? Well, here's another place that you can do that. You could say things like, you would like to feel great, right? Or wouldn't it be awesome to have energy to keep up with your kids all day? Well, yeah. Or how awesome would it be to sleep all night and wake up without the alarm clock? Those are all positive yes statements. Like they're agreeing with you. Yeah, I would love to have energy to play with my kids. I can't keep up with them now. Or, they're going to agree with you. So here you already have them agreeing with you. That is huge when you are in a direct sales position. You want people agreeing with you. Number 3 is stay focused. Don't get off subject while trying to close your sale, because this is where you could actually lose the sale, okay? So this is where you want to, when they're agreeing with you, you want to do a call to action, okay? So stay focused and then do a call to action. You'll say, all right, let's go ahead and get you logged in as a customer and get your products heading your way. Or, okay, this is awesome. Let's go ahead and get that website created so you can get your products at wholesale coming your way, and then we'll get a couple of your friends to go ahead and place their order, okay? Nodding, okaying, like it's all positive. You're getting them all on board and it's all positive. So that's what you want to do. Stay focused and do the call to action. Number 4 is provide a good reason for buying. We have the best reason of all. We have a 60-day money-back guarantee, right? It doesn't get much better than that. They can buy the products and use them for a full 60 days, and they can get their money back. So I would say something along the lines of, I am so confident that you are going to love this product, and so is my company, that they are going to give you a 60-day money-back guarantee. So you just go ahead and try it. What do you have to lose? Absolutely nothing to lose. So let's go ahead and get you signed up and get the ball rolling. You remember, always doing a call to action. You're always closing. If you've ever heard ABC, when you're in direct sales, it's always be closing. You're always asking for the sale. If you don't ask for the sale, somebody else will. Now, during all this, I want you to be alert. Pay attention to your prospect's body language. You're listening to what they're saying. Let's say they're talking to you about thyroid condition. If that's what they're doing, pull up a testimony on your phone and say, oh my gosh, this is my friend so-and-so. Look at what happened when she was on our triplex combo. Always be prepared. You may want to save some testimonies in your phone or on your iPad, whatever you use when you do your presentations, but always be able to refer back to those. You want to be able to offer proof of our products and show results to your prospect. Okay, back on track. Number 5, don't oversell. This is not where you puke plexus. They do not need every detail of all of our products. They don't need to know that, okay? So you're not trying to oversell. If you're talking to them about becoming an ambassador, they don't need to know about the emerald pool or the diamond pool. They don't need to know about the re-entry. They just need it to be real simple and basic. Hey, you sign up for $34.95, you get your products at wholesale. Everything that you sell over $100, you make money on. For every person that joins your team, you make money. And when you join, I will show you this. Another thing you want to do, just for example, today I was on a 3-way call, and I kept referring to, when you join our team, this will happen, or as soon as you get signed up. I was making it sound like she was going to sign up right away, and she is going to sign up, but I already treated her like she was part of the team. So always be positive and always have like yes statements moving forward. All right, number 6, this is going to be big for you because I know that you deal with price. Price comes up all the time, right? And it's hard for us to overcome that because we respect other people's finances. I know I do. And I remember being in a position where money was tight. So somebody comes up and they say, oh, well, it just costs too much. Agree with it. Go with it. You can say this. You know what? Most things nowadays do cost too much, don't they? How much too much is it? All right. Again, how much too much is it? So let's just take the Slim, for example. The Slim for preferred customer is $79.95. You ask your prospect, how much too much is it? And they tell you, well, my budget for my health supplements is $50 a month. Okay, I can appreciate that. So $50 a month, and it's $79.95 to do the Slim. So let's think about it. Where could that extra $29.95 a month come from? Would you be willing to give up maybe a couple trips to fast food or maybe a few cups of coffee a month? So you see what I did is I addressed the amount that was too much for them. I didn't address the whole $79.95. I addressed the $29.95. They've already got the $50 to cover it. So we just need to figure out where they can get the other $29.95. And when you put it in that perspective, when they see that, hey, they just need a little bit more money to meet their goal, then they're more apt to kind of open their eyes and see it. Let's say that you're trying to sell somebody on the triplex combo, and they say to you, you know what, I can only spend $60 a month. Well, maybe you should just start them on the Slim. There's nothing wrong with downsizing what you're trying to sell, because here's the thing. If they join as a preferred customer, After the third month, they're going to start getting 10% off. So then you could say, you know what, you're receiving an extra 10% off. Why don't we add in the probiotic and the BioCleanse? Or why don't we try the X Factor? At that point, you can try to sell a little more, but don't let price stop you from getting them on these products. Really try to get them on the Slim if nothing else. But of course, I believe that the Triplex is the best with the X Factor. I think that's an overall health product. But get them started on something, and when they start seeing how awesome they feel, they will be a little more apt to budget some more money for the products. All right, number 7, be persistent but not annoying. And I know this is hard because you don't want to bug somebody, but at the same time, you want to be persistent and you have to show passion. If you are showing them how excited you are and how much this product means to you and how it's changing people's lives, then they are going to be drawn to you and want to be a part of what you have. So be persistent but not annoying. Don't lay all the groundwork and then open the door for somebody else to come in and close your sale. Close your sale, and if they don't end up buying, you still need to be making contact with that person, and I'll tell you a little bit about that too in a few minutes. And then number 8 is ask for the order. Don't leave it and not ask for it. You want to say, okay, let's go ahead and get you signed up now. I have my computer. Let me help you set up your account. Whatever it takes, but ask for the order. If you don't ask for the order, somebody else will later. So don't let that happen. So if you don't get the sale, and it may happen, you may not get the sale. Sometimes it takes 5, 6, maybe even 10 times of contacting somebody before they buy. Don't get discouraged. Remember where you were. Remember how skeptical you were, and meet them where they are. And just remember that you have given it everything that you had, and you left it all on the table, and you asked for the sale. And if you don't get the sale, then just be confident in knowing that you did what you could and you planted the seeds. But don't walk away from that and never revisit that person again. You should stay in contact with that person. I do it once a week until they tell me leave me alone, until they give me that emphatic no. I'm still in contact with them once a week, sometimes every other week, just depending on what their response is to me. But send them diamond documentaries. It doesn't always have to be about Plexus either. You see they go on vacation with their kids. You're like, hey, I saw you went to Florida. How awesome was that? I've been thinking about going. What was your favorite part? Like, get them engaged in a conversation with you. But stay in touch with them. That's huge. Now, this is something that I learned from a conference I went to that Sonia Dudley was at, and she said something that really struck me. She was like, you could say to somebody, hey, you know what? This business isn't for everybody. I get it. Or these products aren't for everybody. But whenever you're ready to change your health and your finances, I'll still be here using my Plexus products, and I'll be here to help you when you're ready. So when you're ready to make those changes to your health and your finances, please come see me, because I'd love to help you get started. And you kind of leave it with them at that. Maybe this isn't for you. I know when somebody tells me, well, maybe it's not for you, my response is, what do you mean it's not for me? Well, if you can do it, I can do it, right? So you kind of put it back. It's always about putting it back to them so they have a voice, if that makes sense. That's kind of where I've been going with this whole talk is, putting it back to them and you giving them the information they need to make a decision. Now, that's all I have about closing and objections, but I did want to say one more thing. If you're watching this, then you obviously are concerned with your business and yourself. Make sure you're pouring into yourself, because no matter where you go or what you do, what you invest in yourself is something that nobody else can ever take away from you. You are growing yourself and your own business. You're becoming somebody different probably than when you first started. And that's a good thing. Like, you are developing into probably a better person. And no matter whatever happens in your future, those things that you have learned and those things that you've invested in yourself can't be taken away from you. And the other cool thing about doing network marketing, as you pour into yourself, think of it like a cup. All right. So you're pouring into yourself. It's like a cup. When that cup reaches the top and it starts overflowing, it flows right into your team. And that's what you want. You want to pour into your team. And if you are really dependent on your upline, if you are reaching out to your upline constantly and very dependent, then you really need to start investing in yourself and start spending some time learning about the products, learning about the business, learning about leadership, and just learn what an awesome opportunity you have. Guys, you are in the right place at the right time. We have the most amazing product. Our compensation plan is absolutely unbelievable, and you are so fortunate to be a part of that. So don't ever lose that excitement or that passion. There will be bad days, but there will be a lot more good days. And the way you see it, the positivity that you have will set the tone for your business. So thanks so much for listening. I hope that you took away a lot from this that will help you grow your business, deal with the objections, and close the sale. Have a great day.